Welcome to Healer Within podcast series. There are many pathways to healing that fall outside the realm of Western medicine and traditional approaches. The purpose of this podcast series is to educate and inspire the community to explore the multitude of lesser utilized pathways to healing the mind, body, and soul. Hypnosis, yoga, meditation, energy healing, sound healing, and yes, even art, music, and dance. For these self-empowering, soul-driven, and vibration-raising modalities exponentially promote and unleash the healer within. Through this series, I hope you will begin to reclaim your power and discover your own unique formula for healing by engaging and aligning the soul, the mind, and the body with the frequency of the higher self. Thank you for allowing me to be part of your healing journey. Hello, and welcome back to Healer Within. This is your host, Amy Marohn, Executive Leadership Strategist with Critical Mindset Group and veteran hypnotist. Today's topic is the architecture of presence, a deep dive into the high cost of unresolved trauma for C-suite executives. If you are an executive or business owner moving through a dark season personally or professionally, stick around for some insights and tips. Leadership is as much about who you are as it is about what you do. We've all seen the resumes, the polished list of wins, the strategic milestones, the commanding titles. But if we're perfectly honest, beneath the surface of those professional accolades, there is a much older story playing out. Leaders and managers are tasked with navigating complex challenges and making critical decisions under immense pressure. Yet in the quiet spaces between those decisions, unresolved trauma can be like a lingering shadow. It influences our styles in ways that can either hinder or enhance our effectiveness. And I am convinced that addressing the internal architecture of your mind is the best way to lead with impact, with the least amount of inner strife. Trauma, whether it's a remnant of childhood instability, personal loss, or past workplace conflict, leaves a deep imprint on the subconscious. And how could it not? It creates a lens through which we view the world, often without us even recognizing that the glass is tinted. When this pressure hits, we don't always lead. Sometimes we just survive. We find ourselves slipping into a management style that is really just a defense mechanism. Think about that knee-jerk reaction. On the surface, it looks like decisiveness. You make the snap judgment, you bark the order, you pivot an entire team. But if you peel back the layers, there is a deep-seated fear brewing. Externally, you believe you are projecting strength, but in reality, you may be masking a fear of looking inadequate. Then there is the people-pleasing trap. It's disguised as collaboration, but it's actually a fear of conflict. You avoid the hard conversation or soften the necessary feedback because you're terrified that if you aren't liked, your vulnerabilities will be exposed. It's imposter syndrome playing out in real time. And my friends, it's exhausting. These aren't just quirks. These are patterns of over-control and micromanagement. For those of us who have experienced chaos in the past, control feels safe. We stifle our team's creativity because we subconsciously fear that any unpredictable outcome is a failure. Then, on the other side, there is perfectionism and overachievement. We tie our entire self-worth to the next win. While that drives excellence for a while, it eventually leads to a specific kind of executive burnout, a hollow victory where the leader is successful on paper, but spiritually and mentally bankrupt. And when we are triggered in high pressure situations, we don't respond thoughtfully. We react emotionally. We erode the very trust we're trying to build. But here's the poetic truth of this journey. Unresolved trauma, once acknowledged and healed, becomes your greatest asset. It is the soil in which resilience and grit can grow. Leaders who have done the inner work bring an extraordinary level of deep empathy to their teams. They understand the value of a psychologically safe environment because they know what it's like to live and work without one. When you face your shadow, you gain the ability to lead with authenticity and vulnerability. You stop being a manager and start being an energetic presence, someone who creates ripple effects of positive change simply by being grounded in their own truth. In this high-octane corporate world, the mental well-being of a leader isn't a luxury. It's a prerequisite for long-term sustainable success. This is why I advocate for the role of an in-house executive leadership strategist with a background in hypnotherapy. We need tools that go deeper than a standard coaching session. We need to access the subconscious where these limiting beliefs and unresolved conflicts are stored. Hypnosis isn't about losing control. It's about gaining control. It's about nervous system regulation. It helps you identify the emotional triggers before they turn into a reactive management style. It allows you to align your personal core values with your organizational goals, unlocking a level of creativity and problem solving that remains hidden when you're stuck in a state of constant stress. If you find yourself in that cycle, making those knee-jerk move or people-pleasing pivots, I want you to know that it doesn't have to be your permanent state, especially now as we navigate the dark season, that period where the external pressure seems to grow as our own light continues to dim. You deserve a space and a process to decompress. I offer dark season stress support specifically tailored for C-suite executives who are ready to move past the reactive masks. You can find resources, deep insights, and a place to begin this transformation at criticalmindsetgroup.com. And for those organizations looking to shift their entire workplace culture, you can feel free to reach out directly to me at amy@criticalmindsetgroup.com. Commit to the growth. Step into the leader you were always meant to be, not the one your fears created, but the one your soul intended. Until next time, my friends, thank you for tuning in to Healer Within podcast. Make it a wonderful day.